Well, I am so sorry for having kept you waiting. Um, Here we have, as per usual, Stefan with his Pimp My Bucket, a Spirited Away sticker, the main antagonist. Bad kid. And of course, none other than the little sheep donated to me by Jens. Okay, and this is a beer that I attempt thought hard whether or not to make a separate video about on my beer channel, but ended up deciding not to. But so it's a goze beer, goosebump, goze bump. So it's a goze beer, which is brewed with. It's a Finnish made beer, brewed with raspberry and passion fruit. Okay, it contains water, barley malt, wheat malt, raspberry, passion fruit, hops, and the yeast. It's very it's really sour and salty, um, salty. Yes, and it's called Hiisi. Hiisi is, I will tell you what it what it says on Wikipedia. It's a Finnish mythological creature. Uh, it's a term in Finnish mythologies, originally denoting sacred localities and later on various types of mythological entities. When Christianity came in, the Christianity influenced folklore. They were depicted as demonic or trickster like entities, often autochthonous, sorry, pagan uh, pagan inhabitants of the lands, similar to giants. So that hence the picture on, and it's got maybe a bit something on the bottom, maybe from the fruit seeds. Not exactly to my taste, but it's it's something Katya said is for Flow Festival. It's a festival for the hipster kind of people, etc. So Trump cannot transit. Let me get you. This was inspired by his speech at a campaign, as a part of his 2024 presidential campaign. So by something he said that as of right now under Biden administration, the U.S. military is run by pronouns, not guns. So, and then China. So let's have a look then. So let's take that one up first. There. Mr. Trump on July 26th in 2017 stated on Twitter, After consulting, after consultation with my generals and military experts, please be advised that the U.S. state government will not accept or allow transgender individuals to serve in any capacity in the U.S. military. Our military must be focused on decisive and overwhelming victory and cannot be burdened with tremendous medical costs and disruption that transgender in the military would entail. Thank you. Um, Purple rhymes with orange says, I'm barely functional. Body's crying for food. But just a cup of soup is no settling. Is not settling. It's no settling well. I'm sorry to hear that. I have you been ill in some way? I hope not. But if you have, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. Okay. So there's so much wrong um, with these Trump statements. Um, what and then before these statements, it's the article here, which is from stonewall.org.uk. Um, what was announced is a review of 20. This is this has something to do with UK government, but um, law requires diagnosis of gender dysphoria to before recognition certificate will be issued. Uh, but anyway, these Trump statements are just wrong, so wrong on so many levels that I can't even start to describe even a fraction of those. Let's see. This is from the next one is from National Center for Transgender Equality. Okay, Trump's record for uh, record of action against transgender people, and this is just Trump alone. It goes. The last is list goes on, and there is this. It's just not only the federal government, but also the the Trump supporters, the Republican lawmakers in on state level, and the Republican governors have done similar things, so that Trump doing has done a lot more than a lot more than this by proxy. So yes, purple rhymes with orange. I agree. Okay, so starting from his inauguration day. Okay, uh, on January 20th, the administration scrubbed all mentions of LGBTQ plus people from the websites of the White House, State Department, and Department of Labor. How's that for a start? And the Census Bureau retracted a proposal to collect demographic information on LGBT plus people. Well, I'm not surprised. Uh, let's see. And the last he did was in the summer of 2020. I guess he saw it. His assistants forced him to stop in order to even have the remote chance of being seen as a humane person. And Trump himself has said that his assistants have consistently told him not to talk about this, not to talk about LGBTQ plus because it's a sensitive topic. But Trump himself has said he doesn't care. He does it anyway. Okay. Um, on May 2020, the Department of Education issued a letter declaring that the federal Title 9 rule requires schools to ban transgender students from, from participating in sports in school, uh, and threatening to withhold funding from Connecticut schools if they do not comply. Connecticut was pushing against this ruling, as I understand it. Uh, and earlier, the Department of Health and Human Services had made a final rule eliminating collection of sexual orientation data on foster youth and foster and adoptive parents. And on March, Department of Justice filed a court brief in District of Connecticut in opposition to uh, athletic conference policy to allow transgender athletes to play sports with their peers. Trump is quote unquote dead man walking. It's only a matter of time until he's behind bars. I think so too. Um, Purple rhymes with orange. Yes, says the ends. He will stay out of prison until Republicans decide it is the best way to get him out of the way. Republicans don't even want him. Republicans don't even want him anymore. So I think a lot of them, the official GOP stand is that they don't want Trump to go for 2024 presidential elections. So okay. By the way, is the sound okay? Purple Runs Orange says they don't want Trump, but they know they cannot win an election without his band of rabid fans. Yes, yeah, but yeah, well, apparently the Trump, if you fans, if you can call them that, I'd rather call them a cult. So Trump cult members, yeah, it could be a lot harder because the his cult members might see because the Republicans probably want him out of the way, want him to go to prison, but and because but the and, and it's not their theirs to stop the Republicans to stop whether or not he goes to whether or not he goes to jail. But the Trump uh, cult will see it as a fault of the Republicans, and they'll lose. Then the GOP will lose. Excuse me. Okay. Purple says, yes, MAGA is a cult. They have called Trump the new Messiah, and even said they should add a book to the Bible all about Trump. Hmm. I wonder how that would. Apparently, they don't know their holy book that well. You just don't write a book about a person who hasn't. Look, there hasn't been, as far as I can tell, people any people haven't been added uh, in the Bible, probably since they agreed upon on a canon in the Council of Nicaea. I think it was the Council of Nicaea where they agreed upon the agreed upon the Christian Bible canon. Somewhere, 400, 490 something, uh, 490 something. They agreed upon the Christian Bible canon. I think it was in Council of Nicaea. Um, but how do you? They haven't added any significant. They haven't added, to my knowledge, any characters into the Christian Bible since Council of Nicaea. How how would, just that out of curiosity, how would they fit it all in? I mean, into the Christian dogma, because apparently it seems as if they don't know jack shit about their own religion. So for for whatever reason, they can't. They couldn't even fit it. I mean, they could if if they wanted to, but they would have to change rewrite the entire Bible. Oh, Clara, met my rapper. Greetings, dear Clara. Bowie says none of them read the Bible. They agreed on the official lore. Yeah, that's my line. There's purple. Just for making it brief, purple rhymes with orange. May I just call you? I've seen you a number of times in my chat, so can I just call you purple? Can I just call you purple? It's much shorter than purple rhymes with orange. Okay, everyone calls you purple. Okay then. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, purple and Clara apparently have something that I don't. Something that I don't. That I'm I feel like I'm missing something here. Uh, and apparently no one calls her by the full channel name. Okay, wonderful. Purple it is. Wonderful. So it's quite clear that um, Trump doesn't like trans people. Uh, he, oops, he has had his minions take care of all these transphobic shits. Oh yes, and November 1st, 2019, Department of Education uh, here have published a final regulation published final regulations permitting religious schools to ignore non-discrimination standards set by accrediting agencies. There we have it. Uh, on September 19th, 2019, Department of Health and Human Services cancelled a plan to explicitly prohibit hospitals from discriminating against LGBTQ LGBTQ people, patients as a requirement of Medicare and Medicaid funds. Luckily, none of this would be possible in most countries in the world. Um, so, and August 2016 of the same year, Department of Justice filed a brief in the US Supreme Court arguing that federal law does not prohibit discrimination against transgender persons based on their transgender status. Okay, and we can have a look at these again. So, for those who came in a bit later, I got the inspiration for this from a Trump's speech in one of his campaign. He gave in a campaign event in South Carolina the other day. Um, yes, actually, Katya and I, my partner and I, stayed up in the middle of the night to watch Trump's speech live because I just had, because we just had to, you know. What better would we have to do in the middle of the night than watch Donald Trump live? So, so for whatever, and Trump was an hour late, so it was an interesting. Trump knows his base is fueled entirely by hate and bigotry. Yes, and I think his niece has said that his uncle just simply hates everything that's different. Apparently, Trump considers hate and bigotry admirable things. Jens says it's pure masochism. Yes, watching Donald Trump's speech. I mean, honestly, we had to cut it off after half an hour, but apparently he went he went on for another hour and a half or so, and he had these prompters in front of him. They got the shot from a bit further back when they were waiting for him, and we could see that there were two teleprompters. Someone had written him a speech to um, read off of, but at no point did he look down on the prompters. He just kept his eyes on the camera on the camera and his audience all the time. And the old guy next to it, another old guy on his on his left hand side from us on the left hand side, he was just no, no. I mean, I could read his lips. He said no, 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 and you're shaking his head and said no, no, several times, and it was just look, looking looking down. No, 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 no. I mean, the other old man knew that Trump was saying whatever he wanted and not reading the speech that was written for him. Apparently, his father was a Klansman. No joke. There are pictures of his father in Klan outfit holding his hood. Oh, interesting. Bowie says his minions love listening to dung so that they can get more stupid and angry. Yeah, I figured. When the U.S. or when Trump administration, um, Biden has tried to go uh, backtrack a bit, backtrack a bit with what Trump did, as far as I can tell. However, it's impossible for him to reverse everything in one season, one 4 year season, because Trump did so much harm, and it takes time, especially when you have states with Republican Republican governors and, and Republican majority in either house of the federal parliament. Oh, yeah. Trump is just crazy. Okay, so one thing that really just pissed me off. Okay, uh, okay. This has nothing to do with trans stuff, but this just really boiled my blood. I mean, honestly, here that he could have that former President Trump said he could solve Russia-Ukraine war in 24 hours. Uh, he, he said, "Remember Crooked Hillary? He's going to he's going to cause a war with his first week in office because they think that's my personality, but it's actually opposite." Wow, that's in Salem, New Hampshire, and he's said that in yeah, he said that in also he said that in South Carolina. Uh, he said further, my personality kept us out of war, he said. And I told you before, it would never have happened with Russia. Putin would never ever gone in. And I even now, and even now, I could solve that in 24 hours. That is so horrible what happens. That the city is demolished now. Yeah. And he was concluding that if he was the president of the United States, he could have there would have been zero chance that war would have happened. He thinks quite highly of himself. That man is officially delusional, don't you think? So he's nuts. And he thinks providing Ukraine with tanks would lead to nukes. Uh, yeah. Oh well, that happens. What do you have? Do you have anything? Any uh, comments that I should approve of? Not really. No. I mean, Oh, there we have it. Bowie says he's full of shit. Most of it replacing his brain as he fills his minions' heads with more shit. And Jens says he's read Mein Kampf and wants to become the new Führer. Yes. I wouldn't be too surprised if he came out with something of the nature. Yeah. What can we get from this? Trump Trump can't transit. Speaking of perversion in the United, because so many Make America Great Again people said, I think, and other conservatives that trans people are perverts. Did you know that the United States Armed Forces have what's called what's called what what was it regarding age of consent? Um, Federal territorial laws. Yes, they have the rules of U.S. military. Article 120B of the Uniform Code of Military Justice, to which essentially only members of United States Armed Services and enemy prisoners of war are subject to, defines the age of consent at 16, but allows an exemption for people who are married to minors, uh, 12 through 15 years old. Yeah, they basically, the United States Armed Services service members are, and there's also something called mistake in age defense if the minor is over the age of 12. So a U.S. Armed service member, or an enemy prisoner of war can bang with as young as 12 if they say mistake in age defense. So, and it's subject, service members are subject to both the uh, Uniform Code of Military Justice and state law of post. So, yeah, there you go. And there's a difference between by age and by authority. Um, yeah, restricted by age difference. Younger partner is deemed able to consent if having sex with an older, as long as the age difference doesn't exceed. But by age, I counted that 21. No, sorry, I think it was 21 or 24 states out of 50 have the age of consent at 14 or under by age. By authority, it's 16 or over. And by authority is agent consent when there's no position of trust or authority. So basically, yeah, there you go. Jens says the GOP is trying to recreate 1930s Germany. Yes, they are. Okay. Purple runs with orange says they have to do that because marriage to girls as young as 13 is still legal in more than a dozen states if one of the parents signs off the marriage license application. That is sick. Honestly, if you ask me, that is sick. Okay, but that is just sick. Okay, but I am planning on doing a bit more on hang on a top this one because I had the video about the conspiracy that the LGBTQ plus people would be causing pestilence, and the other one that AIDS is some sort of a punishment, I guess, for accepting and embracing LGBTQ plus people. So I guess, and I figured out, and this one in particular from the Electronic 16th Century Journal, the Journal of Early Modern Studies, titled The Sodomite as Scapegoat of Plagues, a case study to introduce early modern period in the era of COVID-19. That's something that I'm still planning on doing. Sorry, I have a hiccup. So then this one has 5.5% alcohol by volume, or ABV. And it's all vegan. Vegan. It's a Finnish brewery. It's they recommend play Acid Kings Suck Me collaboration by Heezy, One Point Pub, and Bien. Yeah, Bien is like Bien is Savo dialect for pieni, which is small. It's made by in Jyväskylä, which is not not exactly that region. But by the way, at this point, please check the links in the description. Also, check my Patreon. Thank you, Flems, for being a patron. Your contribution really motivates me to keep going. Also, the PayPal links are in the description box below. I should get some more sounds. I have that one. I have that one. And that. You may or may not have seen this person, Sophie Labelle, on the right. She's a French Canadian cartoonist. and I met her the 2 months ago or so in Helsinki when she had sort of book sign. She had this word art thing talking about her was a cartoonist, and then uh, signing and then selling and signing some of her books. So that's how it goes. Okay, I think we're done for today. This is Stefan. Once again, you know who Stefan is, at least my regulars. This is Bertil, and so always so fluffy. And this is the little sheep that I have. This little sheep hangs on my microphone stand. And that furry boy there is Alfred, Bertil's relative, also a Moomin ancestor. But until the next one, see ya. Don't forget to subscribe, leave me a like, tickle the notification bell. Bye.